In the last session, while discussing the statistics, we talked about the calculation of mean deviation by median, and I have given these three questions as a homework. So I hope you have done it and you got the correct answer. Alexander and Steve, do you have any doubt regarding this question?
Sir, I got the first one wrong.
You got the first one wrong, and the second one?
I wasn't able to do it.
You wasn't able to do that. Okay. So the first question is actually about the individual series. So you want me to do this now? You want me to solve it for you?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so let's wait. Just a minute. Let me write down the question. All right. So the values in the question are x. The values are 20, 22, 25, 38, 40, 50, 65, 70, and 75. Okay. So Alexander, since the values in the question are not arranged in proper order, so before solving it, I think, yeah, okay. The question is already arranged in the ascending order, na? All right. So 20, 22, 25, 38, 40, 50, 65, 70, and 75. These are the values of x variable given in the question. And using this information, we need to find out the mean deviation from median, right? So for that purpose, we will apply this formula. Mean deviation from median. In case of individual series, the formula was sigma. What was the formula? Sigma
Sigma
dx
dx by
upon
n.
by n. Okay. Sigma dx by n. Just a minute. Okay. So we'll first calculate the dx. And for calculating dx, we will have to subtract the assumed value of the median from the x. So we have to prepare a working note in order to calculate the median. So median, the formula for median in case of individual series is n plus 1 divided by 2. So total number of items, how many items are there? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 items are there, na? So it will be 9 plus 1 by 2. So answer will be fifth term. So median value will be, fifth value will be the median value. So in this case, fifth value will be 21, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 40 will be the median value. You got the median value as 40, Alexander?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we will find out the dx. So for for calculating dx, we will then 20 minus 40, it will be minus 20. Okay, just one. Did I tell you in the last session that while calculating the mean deviation, we have to take the absolute value of deviation?
No, sir.
Did I tell you anything like this?
No, sir.
Okay. That is why your answer is now not matching. All right, no problem. See, whenever you write down the formula for mean deviation, we have to write the value of the deviation in the absolute terms. So for that, in order to indicate the absolute value, we put these signs in front of the dx. So make sure that whenever you find out the dx, it should be in the absolute term. Sir, what do you mean by absolute? This sign indicate absolute. So dx means absolute deviation. Absolute value of deviation will be there. Now, so what do you mean by absolute deviation? Absolute deviation means that if while calculating deviation, you got the value in negative, you have to avoid the negative value. You should always consider the value is in positive term. You getting you are understanding this?
Sir,
You have to take the positive value. That means whenever you calculate deviation, even if it is coming in negative terms, you have to consider that it is positive. We that simply means that while calculating deviation, while calculating absolute deviation, we must ignore the sign. We must ignore the negative or positive sign while calculating the deviation. So if it is 20 minus 40 is minus 20, right? So we won't be writing minus 20. Instead, we will be writing 20 only. Got it?
yes, sir.
So I think in the last session also we discussed questions without taking into consideration this thing. So answer calculated in the last session were also incorrect. So I don't know why I somehow forgot to tell you that whenever you calculate mean deviation, you have to take the absolute value of deviation. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So now 22 minus 40, it will be 18, ignoring the minus sign. 25 minus 40, it will be 15. Then 38 minus 40, it will be 2. 2. Then 40 minus 40 will be 0. 50 minus 40 will be 10. Then 25 and 30 and 35. All right. Now we need to add all these to find the sigma dx. So sigma dx will be, let's total it, 20 plus 18 plus 15 plus 2 plus 10 plus 25 plus 30 plus 35. So it should be 155. 155. So we will take 155 here divided by the number of items. So number of items are 9. So when you will divide 150 by 9, $17.22 is the answer. 17.22. Is this clear to you, Alexander?
Yes, sir.
So I think answer we got the correct answer. 17.22 is the correct answer by the median method. All right.
Okay.
And other than this, we are also required to find out the coefficient of mean deviation in this question. So in order to find out the coefficient of mean deviation, what we will be doing in order to find out the coefficient of mean deviation, the value of mean deviation will be divided by the median value. So 17.22 should be divided by 40. So let's calculate the value of this as well. So 0.430. 0.4305. This should be the value of the coefficient. 0.43. Yes, we got it right as well. 0.43 is the correct answer. All right, Alexander, is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, just do one thing. On all the questions that we have discussed in the last session, without considering the absolute value of deviation, all you need to do is just you have to re-attempt all those questions, and this time take the deviation as the absolute value without considering the negative signs. Is that clear to you?
Okay, sir.
All right. Now let's talk about the calculation of mean deviation through mean today. So okay, let's start with this question only. So solution to first question. We are going to solve this question by applying the mean method. So we are going to write down calculation of mean deviation using mean. So the formula remains same. The only difference that arises is while we calculate deviation, what do we usually do in order to calculate deviation? We subtract the median value from the items. But while calculating mean deviation on the basis of mean, this time you will be subtracting the value of mean from all the items. So the calculation this time will be, the formula will be same. Let's suppose if I'm going to solve the individual series. So in case of individual series, for individual series, formula for calculating mean deviation is going to remain same. That will be mean deviation on the basis of mean. This time I'll be using this sign, mean deviation on the basis of mean equals to sigma absolute value of deviation, sigma dx divided by n. Now earlier we used to find out dx, we used to find out absolute value of dx by applying this formula, x minus value of median. But now since we are calculating the mean deviation this time by mean method, so this time we will be calculating deviation by subtracting the mean from the item of from each items. All right, is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's do a question based on this. So the question that we just discussed was, there were items given in the question, and okay, so these are the values in the question: 20, 22, 25, 38, 40, 50, and 65. As usual, this time again we need to find out the absolute value of deviation, dx, absolute value of deviation, and we are going to find out this by subtracting the value of mean from each item. So the problem is that we don't have the value of the mean this time. So for that purpose, again, we will have to prepare a working note to find out the value of the mean. So we are going to prepare a working note for the purpose of calculating the value of mean. So for calculating mean, Alexander, do you have any idea what is the formula for calculating mean in case of individual series? Please tell me.
Sir, n plus 1 by 2.
No, that is for the median, na.
Oh, okay.
N plus 1 by 2 is for median. We are
Sig
calculating mean deviation this time by mean.
sigma x by n.
Perfect, very good. So sigma x by n, this is the formula for calculating mean in case of individual series. So in this case, sigma x will be sum total of all the items. So if you will total all the items, you will find that 20 plus 22 plus 25 plus 38 plus 40 plus 50 plus 65 plus 70 plus 75. So 405 is the summation x. 405 is the summation x. And how many items are there? So total 9 items are there. So we will divide 405 by 9. So this will be 45. Mean is 45. Now what do we need to do? We will be finding out the deviation by subtracting the mean from each of the items. So let's subtract 20 minus 45. 20 minus 45, it will be 25, ignoring the negative signs. 22 minus 45, it will be 23. Then 25 minus 45, 20. Then 7, 5, 5, 20, 25, and 30. Tell me, is this clear to you, Alexander and Steve?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, since we have calculated the sigma dx, all we need to do is we need to sum all the deviation to find out the sigma summation dx. So summation dx will be, let's total all these values. 25 plus 23 plus 20 plus 7 plus 5 plus 5 plus 20 plus 25 and plus 30. So it will be 160. This is 160. Now we will put this value into the formula. 160 divided by number of items are 9. So answer will be 160 divided by 9. So 17.77 will be the answer if we calculate this question by mean method. And again, because we are also required to find out the coefficient in this question. So now, in order to find out the coefficient of mean deviation, pay attention, try to understand what I'll be doing this time. Coefficient of mean deviation, this time, in order to calculate mean deviation or coefficient of mean deviation, what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide the mean value of the mean deviation by mean this time. Earlier we used to divide the mean deviation by the median, because earlier we used to calculate we were calculating the mean deviation by median, but now as we are calculating it on the basis of mean, so in order to find out the value of the coefficient, we will have to divide it by the mean value. So 17.77 divided by the mean value, it will be 45. So answer will be 17.77 divided by 45. It will be 0.3950. Tell me, Alexander and Steve, is this clear to both of you?
Yes, sir.
So this is how we solve mean deviation by the mean method. So let's tally our answers. So we have got 17.78. So 17.78. Okay, almost. We are almost there. 17.77. And then we have the 0.39. So that is also correct. 0.39 coefficient of mean deviation. Any doubts?
No, sir.
No. You are still writing it?
No, sir, complete.
Completed. So let's move to the next question. Let's do the calculation of mean deviation in case of discrete series. So we will be solving the second question by the mean method. So let me write it down. Just a minute. So items are 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. And frequency is 8, 12, 20, 8, 12, 20, 10, 6, 4. Okay. So this is the question, Alexander, and we have to find out mean deviation by the mean method. So first of all, let's write down the formula for mean deviation by mean. So in case of discrete series also, there is no change in the formula. Formula will remain same. Formula will be same as it was in case of the median method. See, for calculating mean deviation by median in case of discrete series, formula will be same. Mean deviation on the basis of mean, only the sign will change. And earlier the formula in case of discrete series was sigma f dx, right, divided by n. Is that clear to you? Formula, that is the formula, na? In
Yes.
case of median also. The only thing is that in the previous session I just forgot to tell you that this will be in the absolute terms. So everything else is the same. So sigma f dx absolute divided by n. Now the thing is, earlier while solving the mean deviation using the median method, we used to calculate dx, and this is how we used to do that. Dx equals to x minus a. No, oh, sorry, x minus, not x minus median. We were calculating the value of deviation by subtracting the median from the item. But now since we are calculating the value of deviation on the basis of mean, so instead of subtracting the median value, we will be subtracting the mean value from each item. This is the only difference that will arise while solving the question by the mean method. Okay, so let's move to the question. So this is the question, and we need to apply this formula. So you can clearly see the requirement of the formula is we require frequency. So we just have to ensure that whether we have frequency available in the question. Answer is yes. Frequency is already given in the question. F is already, we already got the value of the frequency. So we are not required to find out the value of the frequency. Now in the formula, you can see that frequency is multiplied with the dx, right? So so the problem is, just a minute, this will be, or this will be written something like this: frequency sigma dx. Okay, so frequency will be multiplied with the absolute value of deviation. The thing is that we don't have the value of deviation in the question. So the first thing that we have to do is to find out the value of deviation in the question. So we will be finding out the value of deviation. So deviation will be calculated as x minus the value of the median, right? And obviously, in order to find out the value of deviation, we will have to prepare a working note for calculation of the mean. So let's do it. So how do we calculate mean in case of discrete series? Do you remember the formula,
Uh,
Alexander?
Sigma x by n.
No, sigma fx upon n.
Oh,
In case of discrete series, we have to multiply the x and f together, and then we have to sum the product of x, f and x, and then divided by the number of units, number of items. So in order to calculate mean, we will be required to find out the fx, right? Is this clear to you?
yes,
Why are
sir.
we calculating fx? Because we need to find out the mean. Unless and until we have the value of the fx, we won't be able to find out the mean. And unless and until we calculate the value of mean, we won't be able to find out the deviation. So therefore, we are calculating fx. So 20 into 8, it will be 160. And 30 into 12, 360. Then 40 into 2, 20, it will be 800. Then 500, 360, and 280. So now we will total it. By totaling it, we will get the sigma fx. So sigma fx will be 160 plus 360 plus 800 plus 500 plus 360 plus 280. So it will be 2460, right? Now we will put this into the formula of the mean. 2460 divided by number of items. So number of items basically mean sum total of all the frequency indicate the total number of items. Sum total of all the frequencies will be called the total number of items. So how many items are there? 8 plus 12, 20, 20 plus 20, 40, 40 plus 10, 50, 50 plus 6, 56, and plus 4, it will be 60. So 60 items are there. So we will simply divide it by 60 and calculate the value of the mean. So mean will be 45, 41. Tell, is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now as we have already calculated mean, now we will be able to find out the deviation. So mean, we got the value of mean as 41. So 20 minus 41 will be 21. 30 minus 41, 11, 1, 9, 19, and 29. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me the next step. What I'm going to do after this.
So fdx.
FDX. So uh, basically we will have to multiply the f frequency with the deviation. So this is dx. So frequency will be multiplied with the dx, and it will be 21 into 8. So 8 ones are 8, 8 to the 16, 168. And 132 to 20, 90, and 114 and 29. 160. Now we will total all the values of fdx. Sigma f dx. So it will be 168 plus 132 plus 20 plus 90 plus 114 plus 116. It will be 640. Now we will put this into the formula. 640 divided by number of items. How many items are there? So there are 60 items. Huh? So 640 divided by 60. Answer is 10.66 or 67. Is that clear to you, Alexander?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, could you please tell me how do I find out the coefficient of mean deviation?
MD by mean.
Mean. Okay. Coefficient of mean deviation. So mean deviation divided by the value of the mean. So 10.66 divided by, what was the value of the mean? It was 41. Na? So 10.6667 divided by 41. So 0.260. You're still writing it?
No, sir, done.
Done. So let's tally our answer. The mean deviation by mean method is 10.67. Okay, we got the same answer, and coefficient is 0.26. So I think that is also correct. Yes, 0.26. Okay, so shall we move to the next question, Alexander? The third one.
Yes, sir.
So just give me a moment. Let me write down the question first. So 0 to 10 and 40 to 50. Frequency है frequency is 5, 8, 15. 5, 8, 15, 16 and 6. Okay. Now, after writing it in the vertical format, now what are we going to do? We will now write down the formula for the continuous series. So, continuous series. Formula for mean deviation on the basis of median will remain same. Formula, there will be no change in the formula. Sigma f dx divided by total number of items. So the only difference that will arise while calculating mean deviation, sorry, while calculating dx will be like in the discrete series, what we were doing, we were calculating dx by subtracting the mean value from the items, from the value of the x. And why we were doing that? Because x was given in the question. Earlier in the discrete series, x was given in the question, right? Like, see, let me show you. So this is x now. So x was given in the question, and therefore while calculating deviation, what do? We subtract the value of the mean from the items. But in case of continuous series, you can see that there are no item given this time. Instead of item, information is given in the class format, class interval format. 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to... So that means that there is no item in the question. Got it? Is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
And since there are no item, since we do not know the value of the x in the question, so we won't be able to calculate deviation by applying this method. Instead, this time, because we don't have the x, so in order to overcome the limitation of the x, what do? We start calculating the mid value. We calculate the mid value of all the class intervals. So let's do that. So first of all, we will be calculating the mid values. Mid value is always indicated by m. So we will be calculating m. So the mid value of 0 to 10 will be 5. Then 10 to 20 it will be 15. Then 25, 35, and 45. Right? And now, now we will be calculating deviation by subtracting the value of the mean from the mid value. Why we are doing this? Because we don't have the items this time. As the question was given in the class interval format, and since there were no items given in the question, so to overcome this limitation, what we have done, we calculated the mid value, and now we will be using this mid value as we used to we were using the items. So mid value will take place the take the place of the items. Got it? We will be calculating dx by subtracting the mean from the mid value this time instead of the items. Is this clear to you, Alexander?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the formula will remain same. The only difference that will arise is for calculation of the dx. Okay, now let's move to the table. So according to the formula, we require, the first requirement of the question is dx. And as I told you, this time dx will be calculated by subtracting the mean value from the mid value. So we already got the mid value, right? We already got the mid value, but we don't have the mean value in the question. So as usual, for finding out the mean, we will be required to prepare a working note. So I'm preparing a working note here. The formula for calculating mean in case of continuous series is sigma fm divided by sigma f or n. Remember, na, in case of discrete series, the formula was sigma fx upon n, right? For calculating mean, the formula was sigma fx upon n. But since this time we don't have the value of the x in the question, and as I told you, mid value will replace the value of the x. So whatever the earlier at whatever place we were using x, instead of x, this time we will be using the m. Is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
And therefore, we are calculating mean by applying this formula, sigma fm divided by n. So sigma fm, we will be required to prepare another column to find out the sigma fm. So sigma fm. Let's multiply the f and the mid value. 5 into 5, 25. 15 into 8, it will be 120. 25 into 15, 375. And 35 into 16, 560. And 45 into 6 will be 270. And we will total this. Sigma fm will be calculated. So 270 plus 560 plus 375 plus 120 plus 25. So it will be 1350. Is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now we will apply this into the formula, put the value into the formula. 1350 divided by total number of items. And as I told you in the previous question, n means total of the frequency is called n. So frequency is 5 plus 8, 13, 13 plus 15, 18, sorry, 28, 28 and 2, 30 and 40, 44 and 650. So 50 items are there. So we will divide the entire value by 50, hoping that it does not come in decimal. 27 is the mean in this question. Any doubt, Alexander?
No, sir.
Okay, now as we got the mean value, now we will be able to calculate the deviation. So deviation will be m minus 27. So it will be 22. 5 minus 27 will be 22. 15 minus 27, 12. 2. Then uh, 8. And it will be 18. Right? And after this, we have to find out the so sigma f dx will be calculated now. So f dx will be frequency into deviation, 22 into 5. So it will be 110. Four 72. Now we will put this value into the formula. 472 divided by number of items. So number of items we have already calculated, it is 50. So 472 divided by 50. So answer will be 9.44. And to find out the coefficient of mean deviation, formula will be mean deviation from mean. So mean deviation divided by mean equals to 9.44 divided by mean was 27. 0.3496. Got it? Is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Anything you want to ask?
No, sir.
No. So let's tally the answer. Answer is 9.44 and 0.349. So 9.44 and 349. Okay, we got the answer. Okay, so this is all about the mean deviation by both the method, mean deviation by mean and the median. This is it, and let's move to the next concept. Let's talk about now. Just Okay, so we discussed all the questions on mean deviation. Alexander, you oh, you will be required to do few more questions based on this concept. I would recommend that from your textbook you do questions based on mean deviation, whatever the question that is given in the textbook. I would recommend that you practice those questions as well. And if you find anything difficult, any problem you face while solving those questions, let me know, and we will discuss that in the class. Is it clear to you?
Sir, I didn't hear you. You were lagging.
I was like, okay. So I'm saying that we have done 3 questions based on mean deviation. What you need to do now, you need to open your textbook, and from there you need to do few more questions based on mean deviation by both the methods, so that this topic is prepared.
Okay,
Got
sir.
it?
Yes.
So the thing is that you need to practice more questions. We just discussed 3 questions based on 3 different series. I want you to try more questions from the textbook. And if you have any difficulty understanding those and solving those questions, do let me in the next session.
Okay.
Okay. So now let's move to the next topic. Now we will talk about the standard deviation. So standard deviation is quite lengthy in this chapter. Okay, no problem. Let's start with the standard deviation formula first. Okay. So standard deviation. How do we calculate a standard deviation in case of individual series? And the discrete series, and then the continuous series. Okay, so the standard deviation can be solved by 3 methods, and 3 method is available for solving all 3 types of series. That means if question is based on an individual series, that question can be solved by the actual mean method, shortcut method, or the step deviation method. Similarly, discrete series can also be solved by the actual shortcut and the step deviation method. And similarly, the continuous series can also be solved by all these three methods. So what I'm going to do now, I'll be writing the formula for all these methods. Okay. And then we will start calculating question based on different methods. So okay, just give me a moment. Yes. So the in case of individual series, actual mean method works something like this. Standard deviation, the sign of standard deviation, this is the sign of standard deviation. It is not exactly 6, this is not 6, this is something like this. This is the sign of standard deviation. So instead of using this sign, you can also write down SD for the standard deviation. Now the formula for standard deviation in case of individual series is under root sigma x square upon n. All right. And similarly, when you calculate standard deviation in case of discrete series, there will be a little change in the formula. Formula will be sigma f x square upon n. And similarly, in case of continuous series, formula will remain same. Sigma f x square upon n. Now you will have to understand what actually x mean here. See, here x does not mean item, Alexander. Here the meaning of x is deviation. X means deviation. And how do we calculate deviation in case of actual mean method? We, in order to calculate deviation, we subtract the value of the mean from the item. When you subtract mean from item, then you will get x. X does not mean item, x means deviation. In this case also, in case of discrete series as well, we will be calculating the deviation. X means deviation here as well. And to find out the deviation, again, in case of discrete series also, we have to subtract the mean from the value of the items in the question. Then only you will be able to find out the x. X means deviation. And once you are able to find out x, then you can only square it to fit it into the formula. And similarly, in case of continuous series, x again means deviation. X again means deviation. But as you already know, in case of continuous series, we don't have the items in the question. Instead, in the continuous series, we will have the question in the format of the class interval. So now, in order to overcome the limitation of the items, what do? We find out the mid value in the continuous series, and therefore, to find out the deviation in case of continuous series, what do? We subtract the value of the mean from the mid values. Tell me, is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so don't be mistaken x as the item. Do keep this in mind that x means the deviation. Now, let's write down the formula for the shortcut method. So the formula for shortcut method will be, just a minute, standard deviation equals to, again, under root sigma d square upon n minus sigma d upon n whole square. And now, so what do you mean by d here? So here d means, this time d means deviation. D equals to deviation. Now since it is a shortcut method, in order to find out deviation, what do? This time we don't have to find out the mean. Instead, we take the assumed mean and calculate the deviation. So the formula for deviation will be item minus assumed mean. And in case of discrete series, the formula will almost remain same. The only different thing that will be added into the formula will be the frequency. So the formula will be sigma fd square upon n minus sigma fd upon fd upon n whole square. Tell me, is this clear to you?
Yes, sir. But where it says sigma d square, is it sigma d square or the whole square?
Sigma dx upon n means sigma, it will be the whole square of the dx.
Okay.
So basically here we mean we will have to calculate d first of all, then we will square all the d, and then we will total it. So it will become sigma d square. Got it? But here, what does this mean? Sigma d means we will calculate d and then we will total all the d's to determine the value of the sigma d. So this is different from this. Here we will put the value of the sigma dx square, but here we will be putting this value, and then after putting this value here, we will be squaring the entire value after dividing it by 9, but dividing it by n. Is it clear to you now?
Yes, sir. Now it's clear.
Okay, so where d equals to, again it will be deviation, but this time deviation will be calculated by x minus a. Moving on to this formula, sigma f d square upon n minus sigma f d upon n whole square. And here d is equals to, again, deviation, but since at the time of calculating the continuous series, calculating the standard deviation in case of continuous series, we won't have the item, so that time deviation will be calculated as a difference between the mid value and the assumed mean. This is how it will be calculated in case of continuous series. Tell me, is this clear to you, Alexander?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's talk about the final method, the stub deviation method. And in case of stub deviation method, for individual series, the formula will be sigma dx d dash square upon n, and we will be multiplying it with the common factor. So the formula is almost just just a minute. sigma d dash square upon n minus sigma d dash upon n whole square, and then multiply it with the common factor. Common factor will be beyond the under root. It is not within the under root. All these values are within the under root, but common factor will be beyond the, it will be written beyond the under root, outside the under root. Is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
And as usual, this time the deviation, where now the thing is, sir, what do you mean by d dash? So d dash this time means step deviation. And to find out the step deviation, what do? We divide the entire value of d with the common factor. After calculating d, we will have to divide it with the common factor. Now we already know how to calculate d. So d is calculated by subtracting the value of the mean from the, sorry, in case of shortcut method, we don't have to calculate the mean. So deviation is calculated by subtracting the assumed mean from the item, and after deviation is calculated, we will divide it by the common factor. So common fact, c means common factor. Okay, now let's talk about the discrete series. The formula for step deviation in case of discrete series will be standard deviation equals to sigma f fd dash square upon n minus sigma fd dash upon n whole square, and outside the under root, we will multiply it with the common factor. After solving the under root, we will multiply it with the common factor. Okay, and here also d dash means step deviation, and d dash will be calculated as usual by dividing the common factor with the d divided by common factor. And to calculate d, we will be subtracting the assumed mean from the x. Okay, now in case of continuous series as well, the formula almost remains same. Common factor will also will be outside the under root this time as well. And here, how do we calculate d? D will be calculated as difference between the mid value and the assumed mean, and then d dash will be calculated by d divided by c, and c as usual means common factor. Tell me, Alexander, is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
So it is going to be a lengthy topic, and there are various formula, and we will be solving question based on all these methods. So let's just start with the uh, individual series question. We will solve the individual series by all the method, then we will move to the discrete, and then we will move to the continuous series. So let's start with the individual series. Okay, so this is the question, and we need to solve this question by. Okay, can we can we take a different question, because in this question you won't be able to apply the step deviation method, Alexander. So shall we take a simple question so that we can apply all the method in one question?
Okay.
Okay, na? So let's take these values instead: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. Just a minute. Okay, right. So this is our question, and we are solving it first by a step deviation by actual mean method. So let's write it down in the vertical format first of all. X 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. Okay, now we will write down the formula. The formula for standard deviation in case of individual series is under root sigma d square upon n, right? That is the formula, na? Sigma d, sorry, not sigma d, sigma x square, sigma x square upon n. So here x does not mean this x actually means the deviation. And to find out the deviation, that means in order to find out the actual value of x, we have to find out the difference between the item and the value of the mean. So in this question, item is already given in the question, but mean is not available. So after finding out the mean, we will be able to find out the value of the deviation. And once deviation is calculated, then we will square the deviation and then total all the value of deviation to find out the sigma x square. And then we will put this value into the formula and calculate the answer. So let's just find out the value of the mean. As usual, since it is an individual series, so the formula for calculating mean in case of individual series, I think you already know this. So the formula will be mean equals to sigma x upon n, right? So sigma x will be 210 and number of items are 6. So mean will be 35. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what do? We will now calculate the value of the deviation. X minus 35, that means 25. And now this time you won't be taking the values of the deviation in the absolute terms. You have to consider the negative values as well. So 10 minus 35 will be minus 25. Then 20 minus 35 will be minus 15. 30 minus 25 will be minus 5, 5, 15, and 25. Now we will square it. 625, 225, 25, 25, 225, and 625. Now we will total all these values. So sum total of all this will be 625 plus 225 plus 25 plus 25 225 plus 625. It will be 1750. Now we will put this into the formula. 1750 divided by how many items are there? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 items are there. So 1750 divided by 6, it will be 291.66. 291.66 under root. Now we will solve the under root. So after solving the under root, you will get 17.07. Is it clear to you, Alexander?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is how the individual series is solved by the actual mean method. Now, you're still writing it, or shall I move to the next part?
Sir, I'm writing one second. So can you please scroll down? Okay, sir, done.
Done. All right. So let's now solve the same question by the shortcut method. All right. Now, this is the question, and the formula for calculating the individual series by shortcut method is sigma under root sigma d x square upon n minus sigma dx upon n whole square, right? This is the formula, no? Let me just cross check it. Yeah. So sigma d square, you can also write it as write it this way, sigma dx. Sigma dx, you can also write it this way, or if you want to write only sigma d square, then also it will be correct. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
So you can write it both ways. Instead of writing this way, you can also write it like sigma d square divided by n and minus sigma d upon n whole square. Both have the same meaning. Okay. So according to the formula, we need to calculate the d first of all, and after calculating d, we will have to do the square of it. Okay, and this is it. We will find out these value and put it into the formula. So let's do it. I'm currently finding out d sigma dx or d. So d will be calculated as x minus a this time. We won't be calculating the mean this time. We can directly calculate the deviation without calculating the mean. We will simply assume one of the value as the mean from the items. So let's suppose 30 is the mean. A will be 30. So now 10 minus 30 will be minus 20. 20 minus 30 minus 10. 0, 10, 20 and 30, right? And after this we will square it. 20 square of 20 will be 400, then 100, 0, 100, 400, and 900. Now we will total this to find out the sigma d square or dx square, and we will also total this to find out the value of the sigma d. Okay, so let's do it. Minus 20 minus 10 minus 30, and the answer will be plus 30. Okay, and similarly dx square d square will be 500, 1000, 1900. So sigma d square will be 1900. We have 6 items, minus sigma d will be 30 divided by 6 item whole square. Now we will solve this. 1900 divided by 6, 1900 divided by 6 will be 1316.67, and then 30 divided by 6 will be 5, square of 5 will be 25. Okay, so we will subtract 25. So it will be 291.66666. So, and finally we will underroot it. So 17.07 will be the answer. 17.07 is the answer. Tell me, Alexander, is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, interesting thing is that you will notice that the answer by both the methods is same. We got the same answer by actual mean method, and we got the same answer when we applied the shortcut method. So that means when you apply the apply different method in the same question, you will get the same answer. Got it?
Okay, sir. Understood.
You're writing it?
Yes, sir. Done.
Okay. Let's do it. Let's do the step deviation method also quickly. So step deviation method. So standard deviation by step deviation method. Ten, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. After writing the question in the vertical format, we always write down the formula. So formula for calculating standard deviation by the step deviation method in case of individual series is sigma dx dash square upon n minus sigma dx dash upon n whole square, and outside the under root we will multiply it with the common factor. Okay, so instead of using this formula, you can also write down this formula without using x. Even if you don't write x here, that will be absolutely correct. Got it? Is this clear to you, Alexander?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the first thing that we need to do is to find out the dx or the d. So for finding out the d, will be found out as usual, x minus a. So let's assume 30, again 30 is the assumed mean. So 10 minus 30 will be minus 20, minus 10, 0, 10, 20, and 30. After that, we need to find out the dx dash. So for dx dash, for finding out the dx dash, what do? We subtract the entire value of dx with the common factor. Now, what is the common factor? What do you think? What will be the common factor in this question?
10.
10 will be the common factor because the dx can get divided by on the 10. All the values of dx will be divided by 10. So we are considering c as equals to 10. So now we will calculate the dx dash. So minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. After that, what do we do? After that, let's look at the formula. Formula requires dx dash square. So that means we should do the square of the dx dash as well. So dx dash square minus 2 square of minus 2 will be 4, 1, 0, 1, 4, and 9. All right. Okay. Now I think we have calculated everything. Okay. Now we will simply total these values sigma dx dash, and we will also total all these values sigma dx dash square and put these value into the formula. So the sum total of all these value will be minus 2 minus 1 3. So this will be plus 3, and this will be 4 plus 1 5, 5 10 19. Okay, so let's put these value into the formula. So sigma dx square is 3 by how many items are there? So 6 items are there, minus sigma dx, just a minute, there's a mistake. Okay, sigma dx dash square is 19 by 6 minus sigma dx dash is 3 upon 6 whole square, and then we will multiply it with the common factor. So common factor that you have taken is 10. Now we will solve this. 19 by 6, so 3.11, 3.16, and 3 by 6, and you need to square it, so 0.25. .91. .70. So multiplying it with 10, you will get 17.05. Okay, so this is the answer, 17.05 as per the step deviation method. And it is almost close to the answer we got by the actual method and the shortcut method. The slight difference that you are seeing here is because we have taken the approximate values after while calculation. Tell me, Alexander, everything is clear to you?
Yes, sir. Everything is clear.
So you have noted it down, everything?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So Alexander, from this point onward, we will talk about the remaining part of the standard deviation in the next session. We will be talking about the shortcut and the discrete series and the continuous series, how to solve those series by different methods. Nothing much. There will be a slight difference while solving those questions. The thing is that it takes a lot of time because since the topic is lengthy, Standard deviation is itself calculated by 3 different methods. So the entire topic gets a little lengthy. But you will notice that we are not doing anything major. The calculation is pretty simple. Only thing is that it is quite a lengthy topic, and we need to solve. We have the option to solve one question by different methods. So therefore, it gets a little lengthy. Otherwise, it is quite simple. So now we what do we do? We will be taking a break of 5-10 minutes. Then we will start with the discussion of accountancy. We will talk about the rectification part, and we won't be talking a lot about the rectification today, but I'll try to finish it in the tomorrow's session. I'll in today's class we will talk about the introduction part of the rectification, and then we will finish it by in the probably in the next class or the day after tomorrow. And yes, tomorrow you will have an extra class.
Okay, sir.
Okay, anything you want to ask?
Uh, Tomorrow when the class will be, because tomorrow is a holiday.
Okay, acha, tomorrow is Friday, na?
Yeah.
So just tell me, will you be able to take class on Friday?
Uh, uh,
So tell me about your availability. I can adjust. I'll talk to Nishkash, and uh, if the sessions are available, then he can provide it to me.
no, it's okay. But
It's okay now. You
like,
you can take the sessions,
yeah,
or
like,
shall we skip to tomorrow's session and uh, move it skip the session on Saturday only?
it's okay. You can ask him, but after 6:30 Bahrain time.
After 6, that means at the same time, na?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So Steve, just tell me, you will be comfortable doing class tomorrow? Steve, are you there? Steve, just tell me whether you will be
Yes, sir.
available for the class tomorrow or not.
Yes, sir. I am available.
You're available, na? Okay.
Yes.
So okay, I'll talk to him, and he will get back to you. He will inform you about the timing tomorrow. Okay. So
Okay.
now we are taking a break of 5-10 minutes, and we will discuss a little about the accounts, and then we will finish our today's session. So take a break, guys. I'll continue after
Okay.
10 minutes.